You're welcome to today's class. Today we are going to look at do-while loop. Now, what is a do-while loop? This is an impulsive loop, right? This guy acts before thinking, unlike a while loop. So this one will act first before thinking. Now, how does this work? The definition for a do-while loop is that a do-while loop is a control flow statement that repeats a block of code at least once and then continue to repeat the block of code as long as the condition is true. Meaning, if the condition is false, it doesn't. So at least once it will repeat that block of code. That is a do-while loop, right? So I'm going to show you the syntax, I'm going to show you the flowchart, and then I'm going to explain more with one practical example of how this do-while loop works. All right. So what is the syntax for this guy? The syntax is do, right? Then you have this. Then you have your statement. Right? And then you have this. And then you have this while condition. Then you have this. So this is the syntax for a do-while loop. Once the program control encounters this do, program control is the messenger of the compiler, right? Once it encounters this do, it will enter this gate and it will carry out this block of code. Then it will check the condition. This is like a roadblock. If the condition is true, it will come back and continue this. But if the condition is false, then it will not repeat it again. But at least once it has executed this block of code, unlike a while loop, right? This guy is mandatory. This is like the royal seal. It's like saying in English language, you write a sentence and you say full stop. Without that full stop, then we are not sure. We don't know what to do. So this is like a royal seal. It must come after this while condition. But in a while loop, this is not there. So this is a statement on its own, and every statement must carry this semicolon. Just like this, okay? So the flow chart is that you write this, right? So you do the do, then statement, right? While condition, right? So here, I'll say statement, right? Then you have this. Then we check the condition. So condition. Then if the condition is true, right? If the condition is true, we come here and then we do this again. If true, right? If the condition is false, if the condition is false, we do this. So this is the flow chart for a while loop, for a do while loop. Do statement. So it will carry out this statement first, then it will check the condition. If the condition is true, it will go back and execute the statement again. But if the condition is false, it will exit. So I'm going to write a simple program to illustrate this concept. Now, following this syntax, right, I will declare a variable int a, and I will assign a value to it. Let's say I will assign 0 to it. Then I will come here and I will say do. I will put this here. Inside this place, which is this statement, I'm going to say, I can write it inside. I can write it here. I will say A plus plus. That is one statement. I told you it can either be one statement or more. That's why I'm having this X. So I'm putting one statement here. Then I'll say print F A percentage D slash N comma A. Another statement. So I have two statements inside. Then I'll come here and I'll close this. Then I'll say while the condition is A less than 5. I'll write this. This is not a full program. So I didn't put inside my main. So I'm not putting the return. So I'm just putting this to explain. So this is my program. What did I do? I created a variable, right? A in the integer realm. And I assign a value 0 to it, meaning I initialize. Don't forget those three component parts. So I have initialized it by assigning 0 to this A. So I have created A, right? And I put 0 inside. Then I encounter this do. I come inside. The first statement here is A plus plus, meaning I'm going to increase the value of A. So initially A was 0. I encounter this one. I will change the value of A to 0, to 1. So I've increased A to 1. Then the function, which is the printf, is to print out what? A colon, then the format specifier, which is the starting point in the integer realm. And this is a placeholder expecting the value from this A. So the A is 1. So here is going to print out A 1. Then it will come out and check the condition. While A less than 5, yes, A is 1, 1 is less than 5. It will go back to inside this do. And it will increment A to 2. So this place will become 2. Then it will come to this next one, print out A colon, then this. So it will print out A colon 2. Then it will check the condition again. A less than 5, that is true. 2 is less than 5. So it will come back here again. It will increment A to 3. So this one will become 3. Then it will print it out. So still on the same line. I'm not sure you are still seeing it. That will be A 3. Then it will check the condition. A less than 5, 3 is less than 5. That is true. Then it will come in here, increment A to 4. Then it will print out A 4. Then it will check the condition again. 4 is less than 5. That is true. It will come back here. It will increment 4 to 5. Then it will print out A 5. Right? Then it will check 5 less than 5. That is no longer true. It will now what? Go out of the loop. Now, how many iterations does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this program will give me 5 iterations. And I told you, iteration is like you are having this, and then you are having 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So those are the iterations that you have inside that one singular loop. But a do-while loop will always execute this one first. Now, in this case, what if I now change this place to 5? what will happen? So that is what will happen. Do will come in, a plus plus, that means this place is 5. It will change the value to what? It will increment it to 6. Then it will print out a 6. Then it will check the condition. A less than 5, 6 less than 5, that is not true. It will exit. But it has printed out one time. That is do while loop. So a do while loop is an exit control loop. It is checking the condition at the other side of the gate. It will enter the realm and it will perform the task once. Then check the condition. If the condition is true, then it will keep repeating the task until the condition is false. But if the condition is false, even after executing once, it will exit. So that is a do while loop. There are variations of this, meaning other pattern, but the concept that you need to understand is that a do while loop will execute the block of code at least once. So in the next class, I'm going to tell you the difference between a do while loop and a while loop. So let's go to code blocks and let me demonstrate this program for you to see. So this is our code block. As you can see, I have written the code. Now this is int main. I declared a variable a, assign 0 to it. So this is our do while. So this is the do, and then a plus plus. I'm incrementing the value of a, and then I'm printing out a. So the condition is outside. Then I'm going to return my 0 to my operating system. So I'm going to execute this code, and then you see what the output will be. So I just click on build and execute. So that will give me, so you see, it's giving me A1, A2, A3, A4, A5. That is 5 iterations because it will increment A before it will print it out. So that's why it's giving me this. All right. So what if I change this value to 5? What will it give me? I run it again. See, it's giving me 6 because this is a do while loop. It will act before thinking. So it has printed out the first loop and then check the condition is not true, then it will exit. So that is what I want to show you in this class. So in the next class, I will demonstrate the difference between a while loop and a do while loop. So till we see in the next class. Bye-bye.